So today I'll talk about principles of designs. I'll be very fast with it so that we can move. Yeah. So so it will just lay the foundations. What's principle? Principle is more or less like the foundations of design, or more or less the guidelines that guide designs. So most times when you realize your designs are looking one kind, looking somehow, most times you are violating a law or a principle. Yeah. So I wrote here, principles of designs are rules that help you arrange visual elements in a way that feels natural and looks good. Yeah. They also make designs more engaging and clear. So they're just basic rules that ensures your design look good. Yeah. Basically, if you follow the principles, the basic principles of designs, whatever you do, your design will always look good. There's room for creativity, yeah, where you can break some of those rules creatively. Yeah, but the general idea is that if you can understand the foundation, if you can understand the basics, yeah, it just helps you make better designs. So let's move on. So this class will be engaging a little very soon. So yeah. So before we even start talking about the principles, I feel we'll talk about the elements. So what are the elements of designs? These are the basic building blocks of designs. So every design you make is usually a combination of all these things. Yeah. So the first element is called line. So you are drawing a line, you are using a line as a divider. When your shapes are made up of lines, circle, square, rectangle. Um, Basically, a line is just the connecting point between 2 points. Yeah, the connecting line between is a mark that connects 2 points together. That's the basic definitions. But lines are basically one of the building blocks of design. So if you are trying designing, even drawing, you are drawing with lines. You are using lines for your designs. Yeah. So the second one is shape. So what's the shape? Well, it's an enclosed area. Yeah, by line. So when you enclose a line, meaning the beginning and the end of a line meets, yeah, it becomes a shape. So if you take it round, it's a circle. If you start and draw it up, look it down, right, up and back, you get a square or a rectangle. Basically, these are getting different shapes. So elements of design, line, shape. The third is color. Yeah. So because of color, we can see things. If everything was white, you are basically not going to see anything in your design because every other thing is white. So the what makes things different is usually color. Yeah, so a white on a black on a blue on a red, something like that. There's always color in everything. So one of the elements that make up your design is color. Yeah, I'm sure you know all these things. Some of you might know some of these things, but just explain it again. So the fourth is texture. The texture is just basically how smooth or how rough or the pattern or something of your shape, your line, whatever it is. So that's what makes your texture. Yeah. Um, then the last is space. So what's your space? Your space is basically the area around or within an element. Yeah. So if you draw a circle, you have space around the circle. You have space within the circle, or something like that. So space is just an empty area. Yeah. So I think that was a very short description. I don't want to take too much time on it. So let's start from the first principle. So this class, I'm hoping it's as engaging as possible because we would hopefully do some talkings. Yeah. Yeah. So what's balance? So balance means distributing elements. So no part basically feels heavier than the other side. What are the types of balance? Yeah. So we have symmetric balance. So meaning what's on the left is what's on the right, or no, the weight of what's on the left is equal to what am I saying? What's on the left is equal to what's on the right, so it's symmetrical. So a second on the left, a second on the right. We have symmetrical and equal. Yeah. So then we have asymmetric. Basically, different elements but still balanced visually. No, there's example on the next screen, so that'll be more explanatory. So asymmetrical, what's on the left might not be the same as what's on the right. So example of symmetric is you have like an image here, you have an image here. Yeah. Or you have, okay, in asymmetric, you have a circle here. or let's say in this place you have text, you have image here. Then radial, it's arranged in a circular parts. Yeah, so let me just go to the next screen. So I think that would be more explanatory. Where am I? Number four. All right. So I have three screens here. Yeah. So let me take up the first screen. So I hope you can see this line in between them. So I had this demarcation. You have one line here. You have one line here. Yeah. So basically vertically and horizontally. Yeah. So if you look at this balance, yeah, you have a this is a new section. You have a header text, you have a body text, you have a button, another button, and you have like a list of services. Then on the right, you have the image of a lady and some graphics element around. Yeah. So how is this balance? You can see that there's a weight on the left, which is basically mostly text and shape based. Yeah, and then on the right, which is this side, you have your image. You have your image and some nice elements there. Yeah, so this is asymmetrically balanced, meaning what's on the left is also the same, has a degree of weight as what's on the right. I don't know if you guys, if you have any question, ask in case I'm not explaining it well. Because little things like this are what you need to consider when you are making your designs. So is my design balanced? Questions like this, yeah. Okay. So give me a minute. Yeah, correct. So the next, please can you come again? Right. So I'm trying to analyze. Okay, let me just explain what I'm trying to do. I want to analyze three screens. Yeah. So the first screen is this. This is the second screen. Sorry, this is second screen, and this is the third screen. Yeah, so I want to explain how it's balanced. So I was explaining how you have this line, like a dividing line between them, one that divides it vertically. So just to explain how the system is basically balanced on the left and on the right. That when you have your text, you have your when you have your text, you have your button here, you have some services here. Yeah, it's balanced with an image that's on the right. Meaning, if I take out this image and just leave this place empty, it's not going to be balanced. It's going to look tilted to one side, basically. Yeah. So in this case, the content on the left balances the content on the right. Don't worry, it's not something deep that you need to. It's not physics or something like that. So you can. It's just for you to just know this. Yeah. So the second is this kind. This under hero section. So in this hero section, if you divide the shape vertically, you have what's the weight of content on the left is almost or equal or balanced with the content on the right. I hope that makes more sense. Also, if you divide the screen into two horizontally, the top is also balanced with what's on the bottom. It's just examples. No, we're going to more practical ways. So same thing here. So if you divide the screen, if you break, let's assume it was made of plastic here. You break the screen into two. The weight of content on the left is equal to the weight of content on the right. All right, so let's just go on. Do you have any question on this before I go on? I'm guessing not. All right. So the next is contrast. So what's contrast? Contrast is using difference in color, size, shape, or text to make elements stand out. Yeah, it helps important elements grab attention. So we have who's going to volunteer? I need one volunteer. So just you will do something very quick. Just one person just volunteer. So you can mute yourself if you want to volunteer yourself. All right, Lawale, sure. So you can mute yourself.
All right, I'm with you.
All right, great. So I want you to do something very simple for me. So that's I want you
Okay.
to read this text. I want you to read the texts down here below. So from the just read the letters from beginning to end.
Is it the okay? Read this: A S D F G H J K L, and then the Z X. The remaining letter they are fade.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Laurie. So that's contrast. That's contrast at work. So you don't ask, if you notice how it started, ASDF was very fast to mention because it's very clear. You can easily see it. Yeah, but the moment you start getting to the region of GHJK, you can still see it. Yeah, but it becomes slower. That because now you have to be more conscious about what you are reading. So by the time you now get to LZX, at that point you no longer see what's there again. You can see it maybe because it's on the screen, so you can squint your eyes strong enough for you to see. Okay, that's an X as the last letter. Yeah, but where contrast comes in is you have to make sure your design is visible. Meaning, no matter how creative you are, don't put a white text on a yellow background. Yeah. Don't put a brown text on a black background. I wish I did some examples of that. Yeah, you can't, nobody's going to see it. Yeah, you can't put a pink text on a red background saying, okay, the red is darker than the pink. So you do that. It's a taboo, a criminal offense actually. So contrast basically just best definition of contrast is difference. That's the definition of contrast, difference. How different are the elements? Let me go to the next screen. Hopefully, I'm not taking too much time. Yeah, so let's still use the same screen to explain ourselves. So contrast. What do you guys notice about this? The header text compared to the body text. I need someone to talk very sharp. So I think it's obvious. Let me just see it. So the header text is bolder, bigger than the body text for some obvious reasons. That because you want whoever lands on your website to come and see, okay, find the best solution together. All right. So from the top of my head, I'm believing that okay, this is a solution based product that these guys are selling. Then I can now read. So we not only provide consultation, but also consider your thoughts to find the best solution for each of your business problems. So yeah, so this calls my attention first. I read it, I digest it, and it gives me an idea of what this website is about to sell to me. I can see some of their services, tech development, customer insights, financial planning, legal documentation. Yeah, but basically contrast meaning okay, this is bold and big, so I can see it first, followed by the body text. Then we have a button here which is orange. We have another smaller button here which is learn more. So from the look of things, this get started button is more important than the learn more button. Yeah, I hope you are with me. The get started button is more important than the learn more button. So meaning I put a contrast. So I contrast just calls defense, calls attention. That's basically what contrast is all about. So your designs, you should always know how to use contrast. If this shape was also the same blue as the background here, even though it will work, but it will not. This element here will not pop out just as well as it does the way it is orange. So the orange gives it a difference, calls attention, and makes it pop out better than making everything look alike. So yeah, I put blue here, I put blue here, it's not going to pop as much as you want it to. Yeah, so let's go to the next screen. So same thing. So you have your header text, the home for developer communities. You have your body text that describes what this header is all about. You have your button. So this is bolder, this is more calling, more inviting, more pronounced than this. So let me so I don't take so much time. Next, yeah. So same thing here. Okay. Just notice the pattern. On most websites, on most landing page, you usually go to get a very bold text. Yeah. So you can see these two buttons. There's a main button. There's a secondary button. Yeah. So the primary button is that purple or blue. The primary color is purple. Yeah. The secondary color is white. All the text is colored. Yeah. So just seeing this automatically or psychologically, it's believed that this button is more important than this. So contrast gives you that difference. Um, Contrast, then also you notice that all very important God. So you can notice this button has an outline or a stroke, whichever you prefer. It has an outline. That's because if you take out this outline, what you get a white button on a white background. Yeah, which does not make so much sense. So you have to now add something that creates a contrast. So I just added an outline. Yeah, and automatically it pops out the button away from the background. So the background is no longer interacting with the button, if that's the word. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. That's it. Any other thing? Contrast, color. So this was specially colored. It's getting attention, productivity. Yeah. So let's move on. Next slide. Emphasis. So do you all understand what I described in contrast? All right. So I'm guessing no question. Yeah, thanks. Guessing no question. So next is emphasis. So emphasis and contrast work hand in hand. They're almost the same thing actually. Um, so what different to emphasis? Emphasis is it guides the viewer's eyes to the most important part of the design. It uses size, color, or placement to create emphasis. So what's emphasis in real life? Um, we have all had interesting parents. Yeah. Meaning they could give you five instructions: do A, do B, do C. Then you now realize when it's now time to emphasize on the most important stuff, like do this one, or stretch it, or see it louder, or repeat it. Like do this one, like just make sure you don't forget this. So by emphasizing, by speaking louder about something, you're emphasizing it sometimes. Yeah, so I'm talking with someone and I'm like, don't touch that thing. Don't touch that wire. Probably it's a live wire. Don't touch the red button. If I watched a movie, I watched a movie where they're about to defuse a bomb and there's an instruction of don't cut the red wire. You don't say it quietly. You raise your voice just to make sure the person knows the significance of what it's about to do, of how significant the his action is going to be. So that's where emphasis come in. Let's go to the next button. So I can use the view. Yeah. So emphasis. So let's use this one again. So like I said about contrast. Contrast is you using, in this case, is you using the weight of the text and size for contrast. Yeah. It's also a means of emphasizing. So I'm emphasizing this. Yeah, that says finds the best solution together. Yeah. Also using a color that pops more than others, meaning compared to blue, orange is a brighter color. So by using this orange button, yeah, it pops. Yeah, so I'm emphasizing this button. Okay, out of everything here, this is important. Don't forget it. Don't miss it. Yeah. So same thing here. Emphasis. We all know what is emphasized here. We have your header text, emphasized, bold, big. You have your body, which is also important, but okay, just have it there. Interesting. Then we have your call to action button, which is enable discussions. Yeah. So yeah, so that's how it is basically. So using this button, making it more obvious is how we make it, how we emphasize things in design. I hope that makes sense. If you have any question, please drop it on the call, on the chat rather. Boost your productivity, simplify your life. it's emphasized. So basically, how your section work is you emphasize what's important. If you open your bank app, yeah, if you open your bank app, most times your account balance is what's emphasized. So like, okay, you want to transfer, you want to get buy time, you want to see your transaction history, you want to do something on your bank app, yeah. Everything depends on your account balance, technically. Yeah. So you come on your app, you want to it's in your face there that says account balance. You get so account balance is emphasized, account balance is popped. What's there again? I didn't see emphasize social media app. I don't think so. Instagram, no, it's just I don't think there's anything emphasized. So mostly if you're fintech app, you have your account balance popped up or your wallet balance. Let me just check apps on my phone that are popular. Like social medias, because social media wants you to concentrate on the content, so they basically don't have anything popping. Let me see. I can't think of anything. Yeah, probably I'll check later. Then, so let's go on. So, any questions so far from beginning to this point? 7:30. No question. All right, next. Yeah, repetition. So repetition means we're using visual elements like colors, shapes, or fonts to create consistency. Yeah. How do you describe this? how many of us are Marvel fans? Meaning we have Marvel, we have DC. So how many of us are Marvel fans? Meaning we watched Avengers, we watched Iron Man, we watched Thor. How many of us are Marvel fans? Yeah, nice one, Isaac. Yeah. So imagine a scenario where Tony Stark, that's Iron Man, in the first movie, okay, the main cast for Iron Man, his name is Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, yeah. So imagine if Iron Man 1, you had Robert, that's his name. It was the actor for Iron Man 1. Iron Man 2, Tom Holland, that's Spider Man. Tom Holland became the Iron Man actor, acting everything, but became an actor. Then in Avengers Infinity War, it was Tom Cruise that was Tony Stark, that was acting Tony Stark. Yeah, as much as we might follow the story, it's going to get confusing. Like, why are they changing actors? Yeah, but that consistency, Robert was the first Iron Man, was in Avengers, was in Captain America. That consistency, that repetition of actor is what keeps you more engaged. Yeah, you don't just I know okay, War Machine was changed, but so yeah, I don't know. I don't think all of us are movie fans. So actors are usually, especially when it's a series. Well, I'm sure most of us have watched series. It's the same actor from don't mention DC. The same actor you get from the beginning of the movie, from the series. So from episode one, the person playing the whatever the name of the actor is the same till the end of the series. If there's a season two, same. Except some scenarios where most times usually the side character, but it's in scenarios where the actor quits or dies. Now it's now more of a justified reason to change the actor, but you keep the actor throughout the season, throughout the series, consistent. You don't change Iron Man. You're changing him now, but you don't change the main actors. You might change some supporting side characters, but you don't change the main actors. So that's how the same way it works in movies, same way it works in series, and how it works in design. Your primary color, that's your brand color, is blue. Keep your elements around that blue. There are secondary colors. They are probably along the line. We'll talk about how to use colors and like the ratio color and stuff. But you keep your colors consistent. If you're using these three colors or these colors you are using, you're not using this shade of blue here and this tint and you change it rather. So it's disorienting sometimes. You make it seem as consistent as possible. You repeat as many things as possible. Also, if you're using Figma, that's where components and variables, your style libraries, that's where they come in play. Or that's why you have these things. That's why you have variables. That's why you have style libraries. That's why you have design systems, basically. Because you want your mobile, your application, you want your website to be as consistent as possible. So you create a design system, you create your style guide, so you can repeat this element as much as possible. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm hoping it makes sense. Um, let's go. Yeah, thanks, Nolavis. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so I used fintech app, some mobile app for this one. Yeah, so you can see colors. Okay, let's take this one for example first. You can see the color here. No one needs to tell you that the brand color for this app is lemon green. Yeah, am I right? I'm not sure that's what they call it, but it's lemon green or lime. Yeah, no one needs to tell you that this is the brand color because it's consistent throughout the app. So the main color is black. Yeah. Then we have second of touch of green all around the app. So it's consistent. It keeps the app clean. So I'm not seeing blue, red, black, yellow, purple, all the rainbow colors on the app. Yeah. I'm seeing a consistent flow of colors. What else you really notice? A consistent flow of fonts. So fonts are not just changing. I'm not seeing Manvo I'm not seeing Poppins. I'm not seeing Boson, whatever fonts. I'm not seeing multiple fonts. I'm seeing just one font. So font is repeated, colors are repeated. What's that? Corner radius. That's for your. I wish I could zoom this in. Corner radius consistent. What's consistent again? Corner radius button style consistent. So button here, even though the colors are different, but the style is the same. So that's where components come in. That's where your components, that's where your style guides, that's where your design system comes in. Isaac, you're using your hand. Is it for a question? I guess not.
Sorry. I didn't know what I kept that button on. But at the same time, I think I just have something to say
Sure, sure,
about
sure, sure. Sure.
if the lemon is the brand color in this UI. I
Yeah.
feel they should use it for more of the prominent places in the mobile app, like the buttons, the active, where the users will engage more,
Like
so
your
that
cities, right?
it can reinforce the brand identity, the brand color, particularly in their memory. So like that button now, that primary button, send money, uh, receive and send, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I know OP does. Let me check OP. OP emphasizes on their colored green. So once you open the app, it's all green. It's all green basically. Some apps like probably in dark mode. Let me see GT Bank. So most times they use how it works is it's not compulsory that your primary color has to be sharp. Like for this next example now, let me show you the next example. You can see the orange is everywhere. It works. It's everywhere and it works. Initial example, the designer focused on black and used the brand color as accent color. So if you know Great Finance is also black. Um, so it's not that, like I said, most of these laws are breakable. Yeah. So this person used black as his primary color and it works. Yeah. So he used his brand color as. So what you now notice is when you use black as a primary color and your brand color as a secondary color, you'd emphasize you strict you what am I saying? You will stick to your brand color as much as possible. Meaning, just look at this page. Where's my point? Look at this page. Yeah, it's basically just black, green, white. You are not seeing red. You are not seeing purple. You are just seeing brown color and primary color black. It's everything is all about balance. Like I mentioned, balance meaning balance is not just about the weight of shape or the weight of content. It's also balance of color. If I make everything on this page green, like every button, every text, everything green, it'll be green and white. It's not going to be balanced. Meaning you're going to be like, what's this? OP found a way to balance it. Let me check OP again. Um, yeah, OP found a way to balance it. Meaning, although the colors are emphasized, yeah, but it's subtle. It's not all sharp. It's not all everything's balanced. I think that's the sum of what I would say. So everything's all about balance. How can you balance your colors in such a way that everything works together? So you're not just putting if you reverse the colors, meaning everything black here, you make them green. Everything green here, you make them black. It might work. Yeah. Then I think another reason why this is used as a secondary color is because of the shade of green. OP's green is a little bit dark. Is it not a little bit dark? Yeah, it's a little bit cooler. Yeah, so if you put a white text on their shade of green, you can still visibly see the white text. Compared to this shade of green, you will notice that on this shade of green, it's black color that's used. Yeah, the designer used black color for this. That's because if you put a white color on this, it's not going to be that visible. Yeah, so the person just chose black as the primary color so that it can easily just use this shade of green as an accent color, that's as a secondary color in their case. Yeah. So it's nothing is written in stone. You can decide to make it. You can decide to choose that. Okay, I'm going to use green as the primary color for all the buttons, and you can decide to use black, and there's no war. Nobody is going to beat you for it. So that's how it works. Yeah. So you can use anything. It's not written in stone, or it's flexible. That's the word. Yeah. The more experience you have designs, the more you realize that there's freedom. So same thing here. Accent color orange. The color code, the shade of orange is consistent throughout the app. Yeah, you don't see dark and light purple playing around, jumping around. Yeah. So you even notice that most likely this shade of am I saying purple? Orange, rather. This shade of orange, yeah, is darker than this. That's because you wanted to use it as a button. So for it, you can't put this shade as a text on this white. It's not going to be visible. Because of contrast. So if you make it deeper, yeah, it becomes better. So the contrast becomes better. Yeah. So what we're just talking about repetition. So the colors are repeated, the fonts are repeated, the cards, meaning this card looks exactly like the second card. So you don't have one where the text is big or bold, and the second one, the card, the button, the weight is regular. It's thinner. Everything is consistent. Everything is similar. So that why things like that. When you're designing, you should pay attention to them. This card here is the same to this card here. The only difference is just the name of the item and the image. So the cards are repeated, the buttons are repeated, buttons are repeated, fonts are repeated, colors are repeated, style is repeated. Even the icon style. That's one thing that you also need to consider when you're designing your icon style. Your icon type, yeah. So most times you can use a dedicated icon set that meaning okay, I'm using why do all of them skip from my mind? You are using Shadcn, you are using some yeah, you can speak Isaac.
Concerning the icon part, I have a
Yeah.
struggle with maintaining the same icon weights because you cannot get all the icons you need from the same plugin. Sometimes situation like that arises.
Okay.
So how do I make sure I maintain the same width across like the size and the weight for the icons in my
Yeah.
Figma design?
So if I may ask, what plugins do you have an idea of the name of the plugin you use for
I use
your icons?
Iconify, design, material design,
Okay.
material icon. Sorry, material
Yeah.
icons,
My two icons.
feather icon.
Yeah.
There are many.
Phosphorus. Yeah. There
Yeah,
are many. Yeah. So how do you keep your design as consistent, your icons as consistent as possible? Well, it's so yeah, select an icon set that you want to use. So if you want to use material, for example, I think material is more vast. They have more, I can't remember. Yeah, they have more icon, they have a larger icon library. So pick your icon, the icon set you want to use. So if you pick phosphorus, if you pick feather, whichever one you want to use here, try your possible best to stick with it. Yeah. And then for some scenarios where you know that okay, this particular icon set does not have the particular icon I'm looking for. So material does not have light, for example, maybe a light bulb icon that you need. Yeah. If you can't design the icon yourself, you could look for a similar looking icon set, or maybe go to Icon Scout, because Icon Scout is more random. It's not just one icon set. Go to Icon Scouts and search for your light bulb. Then look for the icon that is similar to the style you have been using so far. I don't know if you get, so material is a little bit okay. If on the, you can adjust the width, I know, yeah. But you look at the icon style you have been constantly using over during the design of your mobile app, yeah. Look for a style that of the icon you're looking for that fits, such that if you import it into your design, it does not look too different. The name of the icons. It could be any icon. I'm just using light bulb as an example. Are you asking about the name of the icon, the website I talked about? Um, so yeah, so make sure your icon sets. Okay, let me just type it in. Okay. So I get thanks for asking that question. That's actually a very meaningful question. Um, so it's in the starter kit actually. If you icon. So this is more random. This is larger. It's a large database of icons here. So you can most times find an icon that is similar to what you're looking for. And also sometimes you don't get the icon you're looking for. Like I work for an ambulance facility here. I'm building a website. I'm building a solution for them. It's not all the time I get an ambulance icon that I need. So some of them I had to custom. I had to do them custom. Like I had to design them myself or find a way to blend two icons together. Just adjust and just make it work. Yeah. So the summary is make your icon sets, your icon style consistent. So pick one icon set and stick to it. Lucid icon, whatever it is, just stick to it. So it's consistent. So yeah. So it makes things more, it makes things cleaner. So I still have repetition here. It makes things cleaner. It makes things neater basically. Yeah, it's the last page. I'll be fast with it. So the color is consistent. Blue is the primary color. Blue is what I'm seeing. Um, what's consistent? Yeah. The sidebar, all the icons are looking alike. The spacing are similar. The spacing are similar between the sections. Yeah. What's again? Yeah. So it's cool. Icon sets. Make sure your icon. Little things are what makes your design good. To be sincere. Yeah. Little things are what makes your designs look very good. So things as being consistent with your colors, being consistent with your margins. I don't think I explained that well. Let me go. Sorry. Being consistent with your margins, meaning the space here. is the same on the side. Same thing here. Most likely the same thing here. So the margins, that's the space between the borders of your elements here. The breathing space you give your design has to be consistent. Sometimes you can, very on landing page, you might play around with it. Sometimes you might adjust, but you have to make your designs consistent, your margins, your spacing consistent. Same thing here. The spacing here is the same. If I take a ruler, I should be able to measure it. It's the same. Yeah, so I hope you are following. So spacing consistent. Thanks. Your spacing is consistent. Your style is consistent. I've talked about color. Talked about have I not talked about color, fonts? Very important. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's hand up. Yeah. Right. Next. All right. So alignments. Yeah, especially for most of us that submitted our task, we were fighting with our alignments. Like we had beef with our alignments. Some of us, yeah. Alignment keeps everything neat and connected. You just line it up basically. That's the summary of what alignment means. You line it up. So arranging elements, they line up neatly, making design organized. Good alignment makes design look professional, easy to read. So you have to be aware. You have to be conscious. You have to be intentional about your alignment. Yeah, you can't forget to align your designs. You will notice that, trust me, the more you design, the more you can tell when the design is not aligned. Meaning it's just few pixels to an ordinary person seeing that design. The person can't notice that there's anything wrong with the design. But as a designer, you can always notice those minor shifts that this thing is not aligned. And by the time you take it and you try to align it, you realize that okay, truly it was not aligned. Yeah, so be consistent with your alignments, be strict with your alignments. Make sure it works. Make sure you align it. Like this illustration here. Make sure everything is straight. Don't just use your eyes. Don't just use your eye to move it around. Select it. Use the alignment button. Very easy actually. Yeah. So still on this our case study. Yeah. So everything here. I wish I showed you. Everything on the left is aligned, straight line. Very important, like straight. Nobody's playing around here. So everybody's straight here. Everybody's aligned here horizontally. Everybody's aligned here vertically to the left. Yeah, these guys are aligned horizontally to the center. These guys are aligned vertically. So this your nav bar, your navigation bar, aligned horizontally. Very important. So make sure when you're designing, you pay attention to your alignment. Like believe me, an aligned design already makes your design like 20 times better. It might not look so good yet, yeah, but once it's aligned, once all your buttons, all your text, everything, all your elements are aligned, it already gives your design a good look. Even before you start playing around. Wow, almost it. Okay. Same thing here. Everybody here is center aligned. Everybody here is center aligned horizontally. Everybody here is center aligned vertically. Yeah, okay. I need to speed up from here. Everybody here is aligned centrally, vertically, and everybody here is also aligned. So no element is hanging outside. You get. So pay attention to your alignments. Pay attention to your alignments. For the third time, pay attention to your alignments. Very important, actually. Next, so don't take too long. Should be out of here in less than 30 minutes. So proximity. What's proximity? It means placing related items close together so the viewer understands they are connected. It's not about how close things are in general. It's about grouping to show relationship. Um, okay. I don't know if you have gone to a rest. I don't know if I've gone to a restaurant where we were given a menu that what to select from. So you get to the menu, you see the list of food. So most times, what you realize is okay, we have list of food together, maybe list of swallow, list of drinks, list of alcohol, list of it's just seafood. They group them together. And then even when you see the name of the food, pounded yam, fried rice, jollof rice, you see the price beside it. You get so you don't see the name of the food, then you have to flip the page to see the price of the food. That does not make so much sense. Yeah, so you see the name of the food, you see the price of the food. So that's how it works. That's how proximity is. You have, let me use the example so it makes more sense. Why distance from okay, see components. Yeah. So we have send and receive button beside each other. You'd have the send button and the receive button down here. You have okay, send again. So this is more or less your recently engaged people, meaning you probably did a transaction with them. Yeah, you have them yet all together, not scattered. So everything on this page says account details, transaction history, about your accounts. That's what this page is all about. That's your home page. So you come to this page which is about cards. So you have your cards, you have your new card, you have your close button here. So everything about this page says cards. So you don't try to slot in profile, what do you call it, profile settings here. You make sure this is about cards. Yeah. And then when you talk about this card, for example, now, you can see the name of the card, the name on the card. You can see the amount in the card. You can see the type of card. And you can see the accounts, the card number. Yeah. Then everything is grouped inside this card. So you know that once I look at this card, everything on this green background is all about that one card. Same to this black guy here. Everything on this black card says everything about that card. Everything on this white card says everything about this white card, this particular one. So you don't try to be creative by saying, you know how in a photo book or yeah, in a photo book you have maybe 50 people on taking a photograph together. You want to label the name of everyone. It'd be difficult to start putting name on everyone on everybody's head. So most times you just see from left to right. This is Michael Smith. This is Jonathan McReynolds. This is Elizabeth, whatever. You from left to right, first row, you label it. Left to right, second row, you label it. Left to right, third row, you label them. Yeah. So you don't do that in here. It can only work in big pictures because you are using you are trying to describe everybody, about 50 people in a photo book, which is almost you can't put everybody's name on their head. So you have to now find a way to label them. So you don't do that here. You have to put everybody beside everybody or with everybody. Everybody has to be hand to hand. So next screen, so we don't take too much time. So the next 30 minutes, I'm hoping you can use it to do some review. Same thing here. Everybody in this card says is all about wireless headphones. So wireless headphones is $120. Yeah, so you don't see wireless headphone here and then see the price up here. No, everybody has to be together. Same thing here. Everything here is about wireless headphones. Everything here is about the card. So so everything inside this card, for example, inside this card is woman sweater. Yeah. So that's the name of it. So what the category? Woman fashion. What's the price? $70. You can increase the volume. You can take it out of your cards. But I just know that this card here is all about that card, all about woman sweater. Yeah, everything here is all about summary. So same thing, yeah. Let me not waste too much time. Time is not on our side. So everything, I think this is best another good example is this sales distribution. So everything in this place is all about metrics. So I know this is all about the metrics of the sales, $34,000 total sales, 4.5 thousand by website, 2.8 by mobile. So I just everything here is about the sales distribution. Everything here is all about sales overview. Everything, everything here is all about payment gateway. Everything here is all about users, active users, and where they are. Yeah. So next, so almost done. Just two more. White space, very important. So what is white space? White space or negative space, yeah, is the empty space around elements that prevent clutter and improve focus. So just look at this design, for example, now. It's you have your text here, you have this little animation here. Yeah. You have this text here. So just let it be. You have this text here, you have this. But you realize that there's like 60% white space. Meaning empty just most of this design is made up of empty space. The same way you look at your solar system, you have the sun, moon, Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, everybody, yeah. But most of space is just empty space. Yeah, and then all the planets and the sun find a way to just fit themselves there, and it works. Everybody's balanced. Everybody's happy. There's space for everyone to breathe. Pluto is not during the revolution. Pluto is not um, hitting Mars. Jupiter is not going to crash into Saturn anytime soon. So there's white space. White space is just that empty space that gives your design breathing space. I think that's the summary. That is summary of what white space is basically actually. So you just make sure there is breathing space for your design. So things are not cluttered, things are not jam-packed. You can breathe. Yeah. So let's go. So all this empty space is your white space. So you're not trying to fill every space with something. Yeah, even though there are a lot of illustrations and image and icons here, there's still enough breathing space. Make sure your design has enough breathing space. That is some of this page. Make sure your design has breathing space. Make sure you can see everything clearly. So it's not like, if you remember the last class where I showed the example of a clutter design where everybody is into everybody's space. Yeah. So white space is your clear negative space, the space where your designs can breathe. All right. So unity and harmony. I don't know if how many of us have watched the Avatar series. Yeah. So Avatar last time made can control multiple elements. So basically, what I put here is bend all elements in harmony. Make sure everything is working together. Yeah, unity is everything. So I wrote here, making all elements feel like they belong together for a cohesive look. Unity comes from consistency in style, color, and tone. Yeah, so make sure your text, that's your fonts, your colors, your shapes, your style guide. Make sure everything works together. Meaning, as much as you are being consistent with colors, you can't, not like you can't. How will I explain this? Oh God. That there are some colors that don't work well together. I think purple and what color? Purple and green. Although there's how you can creatively combine them, but I think no, it should still work. Purple and green works. Most colors work together, right? Yeah, but the basic definition of color riots, I think that's the word. When you define color riots, meaning the colors are together but they are fighting. So you see someone wear lemon Balenciaga and is wearing Ankara with different, maybe those, you know how our native attire have multiple colors sometimes. Yeah, and you're wearing it on a lemon hoodie, or what's an example? Yeah, I say clothing is the best way to describe it. You don't wear all colors together. Yeah, you don't. There's how you wear combine your colors. There's how you combine your suits. There's how you combine your blazer. Everything has to go together. Your shoe, your belt, your tie, your what do you call this thing again? Pocket square. Everybody has to work together hand in hand. That by the time you are walking on the street, you have that respect that okay, no, this guy looks good. Yeah, but you could just dress it. You could just wear any color of clothes and leave the house, and well, everyone just keeps looking at you and like, what's this? So your colors have to work together. Just the same way you don't dress anyhow. You don't wear all the colors of clothes. You don't wear a rainbow color of clothes out of your house. That's the same way all the colors must work together. Yeah. Imagine I'm talking to you softly this way, and suddenly I scream. I just shout. You would ask what happened. Like, come on. Like, what's going on? Like, am I fine? Or I'm talking with I just scream. Yeah. So that's why your tone, your font, text, your font has to be consistent. So everybody have to work together. When it needs to be bold and big, your headers make them bold and big. Not all. It's not everything has to be bold and big. Whatever needs to be small and visible, make them small and visible. You get, yeah. So that's how your text has to work together. Your fonts have to work together. Your color has to work together. Don't suddenly just put in chip in a color anyhow. Your colors have to be in unity. Yeah. So next is yeah, the same thing. So the colors here, the blue works with the pop. This orange, no, I forgot what the color. But your blue works with this orange, your orangish. All right, Isaac you can speak.
I'm sorry, I know you don't have much time to tell me, but I want you to explain how someone can maintain harmony in color, like maintaining harmony with color harmony basically.
Yeah,
Like I
okay.
struggle to know which color blends with another,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I've been trying to
Yeah, go
use
on.
the color wheel and all, but I still don't get it.
Well,
Um,
color harmony. Yeah. What color wheel tool do you use any color wheel tool?
I just check online, search color wheel. I sometimes I go to this color gradient, color palette. When you go to like coolers,
Colors, yeah.
the colors or what's it called? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I guess it.
sometimes I go there and then I see the colors that they arrange, whether it makes sense together. But even with that, I still don't like. I want an explanation behind the
That
decision
color, yeah.
that will like vet my decision whether I've chosen the right color. Okay, you get.
Right. Sure. Prince, you have something to say also.
Yes, I have something to say. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening,
Yeah.
Prince.
So concerning this color, one thing me I do personally, instead of stressing myself using the color wheel and everything, if I have a primary color I want to use or a brand color I want to use, this is the era of AI. I just go to AI and ask for a secondary color I can match with it. It suggests different colors. I go and test it out and I see the difference. Then eventually I'll find something better. So I feel it's better to see take advantage of the AI. You can use ChatGPT or any AI to just know the kind of color you can match alongside your primary color. Blend really well.
Oh,
I just wanted to
yeah.
suggest that.
That's actually very smart. How come I never thought of it? All right. So, how colors work together? Good. Um, Most times I use the color wheel. I mean, okay, I'm starting a project. You can use what Prince said, which is actually a very nice suggestion. Like AI. You guys use AI. Right. So you have your color wheel, basically. Yeah. Um Complementary color, contemporary colors, colors that so if I put let me share a link that can make this life easy for you. I forgot what they call the name of the it's by Canva. Coming. I'll share the link with you now on the call. So It basically helps make your life easier. Yeah, this is. Where is the chat? I'm pasting it. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, but nice one, Prince. You guys came there of AI. We're here before AI. So yeah, so this color wheel, yeah, is from Canva. If you paste your primary color in it, yeah, you can play around with what suggestion to give you for complementary color, what suggestion to give you for analogous color, for triadic, or for tetradic. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. I don't want to go into the explanation of how these colors come to be. Yeah. But so basically what you can do is you can pick these colors. Sometimes you could just pick the tetrad because it has multiple colors. So just save the 4 colors to your Figma file and just stick to those 4 colors. So your primary color will still remain your primary color. When you need a secondary color, you can use any of the suggestions it gave you to as your secondary color. And when you need the other colors, you can just use them in case maybe in scenarios where, let me see if there's any scenario like that here. Yeah, this is a good example. So most likely, okay, this what you're seeing on my screen is the primary color is this purple, this bluish purple stuff. Yeah, but they had to most likely. I don't know if I could get this color. Most likely, this red is one of the tetradic colors that comes on the wheel. So I saved these colors in my style guide, and time is not on our side. Now I'll explain how you can generate tints, meaning different shades of this color. Meaning you can see that this is one shade of pink, yeah, and the lighter shade of pink. So how does that stay consistent? That I'm not randomly choosing the shades of pink, because then you have to. So we have to. I'll go to probably next class. I might teach all these little things. How to generate style guides, basically. And maybe that's what I'll just make the next class to be. So just generate style guides. So how your colors can work together. So this green is probably one of the suggested tetradic color. So basically, I said the word is one. If you can use, if you're using a custom, meaning maybe you go to Colors and you just use, because it has hundreds of color combination, you can pick from there, which is nice. Yeah, and it makes things very simple and you don't need to stress your brain. Yeah, or you can also use this color wheel to generate secondary colors that work. Yeah, and then for example, farming, like I think that was one of the best apps I tried to explain. If you're doing a mobile app for farming, yeah, most likely you're using something green. Yeah, so even though green will go with what color? Okay, you're using green. Yeah, then you also have to be a specific kind of green, meaning a leaf-looking kind of green, compared to the lemon green. Yeah, probably in next class I'll teach more. I'm trying to maximize time, so I don't talk too much. But you can use your color wheel 1. 2, you can use Prince suggestion by using AI to suggest colors that go with this color code. It will also work. Yeah. Yeah, but most times I use the color wheel, probably because I understand how to use it. So I might one of these days teach how to use it also. Yeah, so let me not waste too much time. So I'll bring this back up soon. Yeah. So that's all. That's all about what do you call it now? That's all about the principles, your balance, contrast, emphasis, repetition, alignment, proximity, white space, and unity and harmony. Yeah. So harmony just means everybody works well together. Nobody's shouting, nobody's screaming. Everybody's happy to be in your design. Yeah. So any question so far? No. Okay. All right. So remember, this is a rule of thumb. Principles guide you, but creativity makes you unique. Yeah. So these principles are your design toolkits, basically. Just just to guide you. They are not rigid. They are not, like I said, they are not carved in stone. That if you break it, you'll be casted out of design realm or something like that. You can break some of these laws. Someone's hand is up. Prince, okay?
Yeah, sorry, please. I have a question.
Okay.
So when designing and we have to impute like a picture, is there a particular scale for it? Because sometimes I used to get confused with how big a picture should be in a design, or how small, or the size, the width, the height, or something like that. So I want to know if there's a standard size or if there is a way we can go about it. Thank you.
Well, there's really no standard size. It's your intuition and balance. Um, like, let me see if I can go back. So this is a picture. It's basically just intuition. This is a picture here that's large. This is also another picture down here. There are different sizes here. They basically just you balancing what you are doing and saying, okay, what size of image will work for this particular design. Not all images will work. Yeah. That's some also when you're scouting for your design especially when you have the idea in your mind of what you want to design. Yeah. You know that okay, if I go to Flipic, I'm designing I'm designing for let's say cover photo now. Yeah, which is mostly rectangular, horizontally. Yeah. Your cover, if you want to use a sample cover photo, you know that a portrait picture of someone is most times not going to work. So you have to find the landscape picture that will fit into that dimension that you have created. So there's no rule for images, or maybe I'm missing your question, but there's no rule for images. Yeah, it's basically what you see and what you want to do that determines the size of your image. I don't know if that answers your question or if I missed what you asked.
Yes, you answered it. You answered it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no law, there's no rule, just imagine it. Just imagine what you need to do and just put it there. Yeah. So these principles are your design. Now, so I said so they are not the more you design, the more experienced you are in designs, the more you find it easy to break these laws. Meaning if I go back to this guy, is it this guy? Yeah. Um none of these images here are symmetrically aligned. Like nothing is straight to each other. They just follow a path that was created. If you talk about balance now, talk about balance. This image is big here. It's not the same to what you have here. You have something that balances it here, which is more images. But what you realize is that it works. Although if you look at it in another way, you can extend the circle and say, okay, the circle starts from here and down, and it goes down. This also follows a circular, even though it's not that visible. There's an invisible circle here. Like you just have to squint your eyes or imagine the circle there. You can see the invisible circle here. You can see a maybe it's maybe more of an ellipse. Yeah, but the person that created it just found a way to make it work. It's not following so much. It's not following a typical alignment principle, but it's aligned. Like it's not so random. That's what I'm trying to explain. Yeah. So the more you design, the more you play around, is the more you know how to play around. That's the word. The more you play around, the more you know how to play around. The more creative you can be with these rules. So alignment becomes easy. So any question again? I think that's all. What's the time? Oh, we have like 10 more minutes. So any more questions before I start showing some of our works? I'm guessing no question. Okay. So let Just open some of our designs that we did, and we can look at it. Probably just a call the time. I think we might just take one, most likely, or two, but most likely one. Which one can I open first? Okay, give me a minute while I open it. So hope the lessons were hope you were able to learn something so far. Yeah, well done. Yeah, so we'll be progressing little by little into design. So okay, today we talk about principles. So tomorrow I might talk about building your style guide, styles, basically things to consider before you even start designing. I think that's what our label is. Yeah, things to this it's called design system, but things to put in place before you start Figma, before you start designing. All right, so I can't remember whose work is this is. Then maybe going forward, you can put your names on your Figma file so that I can remember whose design belongs to who. So I also love the creativity most of us put into it. Um, yeah, like we not just pick and drop kind of thing. Let me just put multiple people's on. So again, it's who's on again? Assignments one, portfolio one. Let's open like two people's. I'll open one more, and that'll be it. Okay, who's on is last? Okay, not doing this. This one's on. So I'll just start with this 3 and yeah. So this I can't remember who's. I think who's, if you're the owner of this design and you're here, say hi. Or if you're the owner of this design or any of the designs I've opened and you're here. Okay, this is your design, Isaac. This is your design.
Yeah, it's for me.
Okay, good. Yeah. So who wants to review first? So who's going to review first? Nobody. Are you scared? Prince, yeah, review. What's your take on this design?
Okay, so well, the design looks nice, but few things I have just noticed is some little inconsistency. For example,
Okay.
in my favorites and the restaurants, they are more like the same. It should be the same, more like a subheading. I think they should have the same size, I
Yeah.
guess. Then also
Yeah,
that
yeah,
corn
you're correct
burger
actually.
and the name under it. I think the hierarchy there should be quite different, whether the text size or the weight of the text should give it a little hierarchy. And also I think the margin at the right hand side of that middle design, there is no margin at that side. I don't know why, but there is no margin at that side. A
No,
consistent margin at that
it's
side.
there's not so to margin. That's because it's supposed to be scrollable. So
Oh,
that's why
okay,
there's no
okay,
margin there.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's correct actually. Any other person noticed anything? Let's be fast, let's be fast. Who's on the call again? Um, who's on the call? Who's on the call? No Lawitz. Good. You notice anything? Anything fishy? Anything suspicious? Someone's an Emmanuel. All right, Emmanuel, go. You can go for it. Yeah, shoot.
Okay, all right. One thing I noticed is it's very easy to design from the coding to the edge. I feel the text, the hierarchy of the text is not
Sorry,
properly
your network is
organized.
breaking. Your network is breaking a little. Can you just repeat yourself? Sorry.
Can you hear
I
me
say
now?
your network. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. If you check the media design, that
Yeah.
media design that has my copyright and recent. One thing I noticed is if you check from the beginning, the heading, the good evening, and the Isaac, the front hierarchy there or the text hierarchy there is not properly,
Mhm.
is not well organized.
Okay. Like the good
One,
evening and the Isaac. Okay.
the
I'm with
Isaac,
you.
yes, that's thing. Then number two thing I noticed is if it's going to be using that notification bell, if it's going to be putting it in a round border, I think it's better off to remove the round frame and just leave the notification bell like that because I think the color there is clashing. That's one of my observation.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
uh that second that's last page, the last screen there. If you check that enter coupon code and there's a text under the enter coupon code. The space there
Mhm.
is not very it's not okay. I think it should give a little
Okay.
space. I think if not 10, 10, 10 to 20, preferable then. If it's using
Okay.
that kind of text, if it's using the text color, the font color, I think it should use a minimum of either 50 opacity or 70 opacity. That's what I feel.
Okay.
And if you check, even the last one, the spacing there is not well aligned. It's not well
All right.
aligned. And that's okay.
All right. So any other before I start my own? Mine is not so much. You have said most of it. Everyone has said most of it. So any other person before I go on? I'm guessing not. All right. So homepage looks cool. I love the homepage. I think it's the only person out of everyone that noticed this mistake in the original design. Did they put it? No, it's not yet. Let me see if these guys have no process. Fantastic. Why? Sorry, give me a minute. Don't know why they have not opened. Imagine this when it's not when I do it. So it's the only person out of everyone that noticed this error. Why is it blurred? Yeah. Yeah. So this don't have an account sign up. It's actually supposed to be center aligned with the button here. Does not make so all highest. No, not highest. The best place is center. I hope people will notice, but it was the only one that noticed it, and I'll give him the clap for it. Yeah. So it's actually supposed to be in the center, not on the right. Yeah, I intentionally did not mention it because I was going to use it as an example since we're talking about alignment in the slide. So I did not mention it. Yeah, so it's supposed to be in the center. So kudos to that thought. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here. Um, yeah. So the fact that you have used white on pitch, yeah, in your buttons, yeah, putting this as black on pitch kind of scatters everything because it's no longer consistent. It doesn't have to be consistent. Um, is it a review you want to make or a question? Just speak now. Just speak.
I
I,
actually want to say something, not about this work, but about the sample you sent and then the statement you made about like, can you hear me?
I'm
Before
not sure I get what you. No, no, no. I don't get your question.
I said I want to make a statement about what you said about alignment. You just said something about alignment from the sample.
Yeah, you can make this statement. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Go on.
So I was going to say that are you saying there's a strict rule on alignment and that creators do not have the freedom to create it even with the use of the alignment? Because if you look at that design, that's the only thing that seems like it's different from the old alignment scheme from that sample design. And
Yeah.
I think I've seen designs that even that sign up button, people play around in some designs, like real life
Yeah.
applications or even websites.
Okay.
So I think for alignment
Okay.
now, or the principles of the designs, there are certain things that are just strict. You have to follow it strictly. And as a designer, you don't have the freedom to play around or try to be creative with what you are doing. So long as it does not obstruct the design, because everybody who enters the application and lands on that page, they see that there's an option to sign up. So it's not like UI or they can't
It's
sign up.
not disturbing. All
It's
right.
different.
So
This makes it different.
yeah. So I get your question. So there's no strict law. Yeah, but there's something called best practice. So let's assume we're in an Arabic setting where they read from right to left. Now this works. But by default, we read first from the left, then we move to the center, then to the end of the page. So in this case, it looks like we are forcing them to read from the center to the right. For, okay, ask. Time is already 30, so just be fast. Just be
Sorry,
fast with your question.
I'm sorry about the time, yeah, but I just needed to also say if you are talking about um, rule of how you read or whatever, if you are going to align this to be in the center, so do people also read from the center? Because
No,
we
no,
want to
but
read
if you okay,
from
you finish your
good.
question, so I don't have. Right. So why I say the best from the center is if you align it to the center, your design is it's how will I put this now? The weight of the beginning of the text now starts from the left, which is more natural to us. In this case now, is the beginning. Let me put it well. This place, this beginning, is closer to the center of the page than to this. So it's if I put this here, it works. Yeah, although it starts clashing with this guy, but it's still going to work better. But if it depends just at the center. I think that's the it's what law is I don't know if there's a law for it, but it's just experience and
Yeah,
how
okay.
humans read.
Okay.
It's basically just psychological.
What about
How
the
about the what?
forgot
Forgot
password?
password. Now forgot password is on the right. Okay, now one reason why forgot password is works. Most time you notice that most of the forgot passwords work. You see them on the right corner down. Most of them, most screens you barely. Okay, did that you either see them here or sometimes they replace this sign up button with forgot password once in a while. Yeah, that's because we read from left to right. I think I've stated that fact. Yeah. Um, let me put this in. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be as normal as possible. So you put it on the right because it's not so important. I think that's what I'll use. It's sure it's important in the sense that if you forget your password, click on this. Yeah, but it's not so important in the login process because when you put in your email password, you don't want to see forgot password. If you put it here, it's going to make it more important than if you put it here. So if I remember, let's say I remember my email and I remember my password. I just put the email password. The next thing I have to see is the sign in button. So I'm naturally looking left down. So I will explain these laws one of these days too. There's a lot to it, a psychological lot to it. So I look down here and the next time I see my sign in button and I click on it. Now, if I forget my password, yeah, I'm going to now look for okay, how am I going to get my password back? So that's why I now tilt to the right and now look for my forgot password. Maybe one day there's so many laws in UI. UI is not just about if it looks good or not. There's a psychological aspect to it that makes it work or not. Yeah. So you have it aligned here. Your primary function on this page is to log in. And what you need is your email and password. Yeah. So forgot password is a secondary action. You don't want it to clash with your primary actions. So you have to put it somewhere, like just stay here till you are needed. That's the psychology of it. Yeah. So that's how this bot now looks like. Because this sign up is also a core functionality. So if I don't have an account, how do I sign up? So that's why it can't or should not be on this side because this place looks like it's forgotten. I'll explain this psychology in one of the classes too. But just for this class, just for the simplicity of it. I forgot the name of the law. Yeah, just for the simplicity of things. The forgot password works here because you don't want it to clash too much with the primary function of the page, which is to log in to your email and password. That's the summary of it. Yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on it. Yeah, but I'll explain probably one of these days. The need to explain will come up. Yeah. So let's just quickly dissect the design. So it makes sense. This makes sense. This makes sense. Everything here makes sense basically. The login page, cool. Yeah, you talked about this icon black. The fact that you have created a consistent look of white on pitch, yeah, putting this kind of distracts users, and then it's also not a primary function. So, like, I don't know if it was Prince, like, I don't know if it was Prince that mentioned it. The icon alone here works. Just the icon alone here, black, works. So it's everyone can see that there's a notification button there, but it's not distracting. Not something. If you notice the principles of design, using color and size is how you get people's attention. So colors like this attract attention. They indicate that this is active or this thing is important. Yeah. So about this, I think you can still reduce the spacing between them. So what font size is this? 16, and this is 20. Yeah, it works. So just reduce the space between them a little. I think it will help with the hierarchy. What's there again? What did I mention about this? You can take out the shadow. Okay, you added the shadow before. Yeah, thanks for taking it out. You can reduce the space between the tabs, between the buttons here. Just reduce the space between them. What did you use? The gap is 24. You can make it like 12, 16. Yeah, just take it down a little. Yeah, like it was mentioned also, these two have to be uniform. They have to be almost the same. So I think this is slightly too big, and this is slightly too small. So I think 20 would work. Using a peak for 20 pixels would work. Same thing here. So this card looks like the image is the most important thing on this card, and it is not. Yeah, you emphasize a lot on the image by making it bigger than everybody significantly. Yeah, it's significantly bigger than every other sense. So if you can reduce the size of this image, probably, let me see, what's the size used? 16, okay, leave it. Maybe reduce the space around the padding. Padding is 16, probably use 12, it's between 8 and 12. Also reduce the space between them. I think it will look better. So yeah, I'm rushing the feedback. Yeah. So I'll drop the comment later. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. So I think this page is cool. Then one thing most of you also did, I don't know, MC, is it in the design? Let me confirm before I judge. It's not in the design. So one thing about design is we try our best to prepare for worst case scenario as possible. When I mean worst case scenario, package 1, package 2. It works like this because those texts are short. Now imagine if package 1 was fried rice and chicken. That's long. So if you change this package 1 into fried rice and chicken, this is going to be let me take it back to this. If this is anything longer than package 1, this card already starts breaking because everything is going to be too long. Just fried rice and chicken is going to kill this card. But if you can, I don't know if I mentioned it to you. If you can take this and make it a square, like this guy here, now you have more room for in case the name of the item is longer than package 1, package 2. Because once anything is longer than package 1, package 2, it's going to be long. So that's why most times things like this is actually going to be square, just to give you as much breathing space for text as possible. Because you're not just designing for yourself, you're designing for a developer to develop. Yeah, so it's not most of these things here are not static, they are dynamic, meaning the names are changing, the pictures are changing. So a square is more universal to use than and there'll be more space for you to change the name. Yeah, so these buttons work. I think you can also even reduce the size of this. What do you use? You use 20. You can still reduce the size a little. probably 14. So there'll be more breathing space for your text. So you notice these guys are used to be small. This guy is a square. There's breathing space. So in case it's longer than package one, there's got to be breathing space for you to work with. Yeah. So that's it. Let me see. How did they do theirs here? Okay, it was not here. Coupon code. Enter coupon code. Okay, UX wise, enter coupon code. Enter coupon code for reduction in total costs. Is it just no? It's not tautology. Meaning, if you are putting enter coupon code here, you don't need to tell them to enter coupon code to reduce total costs. Yeah, although it's nice. So something you can do for in these cases, it's something called tooltip. Yeah, you could just have a more, or you could just have a more button somewhere that if you click on it, they can see more information. But for now, because I know I've not gone to those areas, so for now, this still pass. But probably if it's left aligned, not center aligned, you could just put it center aligned. But UX wise, meaning UX just means the experience wise, it's better if you place this text inside a more button. It does not have to be outside this way. Yeah, so a lot of space here you can reduce. The space. Like we talked about proximity. Everybody related to each other has to be close to each other. All family members have to be close to each other. Yeah, one family member can't run out. So other sum is the head of the family here. Yeah, so you don't send it. If you send it to space here, so just reduce the space between them, and I think it will look better. All right, so that's cool. So yeah, that's it. I hope I was not too fast. Next design. We should be out here in the next 5 minutes. So any other is general the design of this design here? Portfolio one. I think this is Nola with no, it's not Nola with. Portfolio is not Nola with. I can't remember whose design this is. It's the owner of the design here, Bio Studios. If you are not here, we move. Yeah, the one by Bio. All done. Yeah. 5 minutes. Okay, just one person who's going to dissect the design for us. Tell us what is wrong. Who's going to do that? Who has not spoken today? Who's going to do that with us? So we have to be very fast if we are doing this. Yeah, Nolawitz. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
So the interior image, the worded interior image, that is a little bit smaller size. The font size is a little bit smaller. So maybe that's
okay.
See, and the overall is really good. That's really nice.
Okay, your voice is a little bit low. I don't know if you can speak up a little. Sorry about it. I don't mean to stress you.
Okay, can you hear me more?
Yeah, sure.
The font size, the email, and the password, I think that's a little bit smaller. And that, I think that's what I see, and the overall is nice.
All right. Thanks for your feedback. That's all right. So, Isaac, your hand is up. I think you have something to say. Very fast.
Yeah. For looking at the design, instantly you are seeing a lot of things that are making noise already. The use of the shadow, the drop shadow, they are too much, so they can become more subtle, like a little bit subtle in the shadow. So and then the stroke. I'm talking about the sign-in page.
Yeah.
The stroke. Yeah, I'm talking about that one first. The stroke of that exactly that button you're on, too much. Yeah, too much. Okay. And the spacing that don't have an account is too close. Too close. The image at the top, the edge is still showing. the gradient should a little bit blur it out and make the edge to be like softened. So, and I think the same mistakes are repeated across the design like that. So that's all.
All right. So very fast. All the observation made were good actually. So your image is still showing. I don't know how you did. Okay, you added a like an overlay rectangle here. So just raise the opacity. I can't remember what they call it. Those anchor stuff. Just raise it up a little. The edge of it. Just raise it up a little. It will cover this part. So this place will be 100% white. That's the gradient. This place will be 100% white to cover what you have under it. So the edges are showing. Yeah, shadows very important. The shadows are too thick. They're too solid. They are. It's like the sun is in your eye, that kind of thing. So the shadows are thick and probably not necessary. So I don't know why I explained it to. You use shadows when the contrast is when you want a subtle meaning. Let's assume your input field was white. Okay. Oh, I get your point. So let's assume your input field was white. This shadow would be more useful because if you leave white on white is white, there's no you will not be able to see the input field. Yeah, but if you add a shadow on a white input field, yeah, it elevates the input fields above the background, so you can now see that field. You can now see the input field. Yes, but if you take out the sum is that if you take out this shadow, you will still clearly see your input field because it's bluish. The contrast is not bad. So in this case, the shadow is not doing so much work. It's just there. You get it. So take out the shadows. Take out the shadows one. Very important. Don't only mention something about the font size. You use 14. Yeah, I think you should use 16. Although it's partially okay. It's actually okay. It's not so bad, but if you want to, you can change it to 16. But it's still cold too. Anyway. 26. I'll come back to my generator. You used to your what do you call it now? Your border, is 2 pixels. It's too thick. Use one actually. If you have just used one, then you can bring this guy down a little. It's too close to just 1 pixel. It's too close to the button. Anybody can accidentally click sign in instead of sign up, and vice versa. So always have the users in mind when you're designing. So you mentioned something about this. So for example, I think this blue is destructive. That's what it's not. You can take out the blue background. It's not really doing anything there. You can take out the blue background. Remove the button here. Remove the shadows here. Rather. Did you add the stroke? No. So you can do. Don't worry. Remove the shadows and replace the shadow with an outline, like a stroke around it. A light grayish stroke will do better than the shadow. Most times you barely need shadows in cases like this, but in this case a light gray outline will do better than a shadow. This is cool, makes sense. Space here is too much. Space here is too much. What is this? Is this what with the price? I don't think this works. Don't put this here. How is it the design? It's here. Even this UX wise, this price is not the best way it is. It's better down here. Yeah, so some things that we'll still consider when we're looking more into UX. Isaac, can you say everything you want to say in 20 seconds?
Sorry, I want to say probably you should encourage the person that when she wants to pick color for the shadow, like in the latest material design guides, like they encourage that you pick a color that is close to the background of that particular element, and then you make the opacity a little like as low as possible, so that the gradient, the shadow will not like too sharp. So maybe the
So
person can
sharp,
put
yeah.
it in practice. Yeah, something like that. You
Yeah.
can the way you said gray now,
Thanks.
it will go better. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so something light, subtle, not too combative. That's the word. Not something that can fight. So something cool, calm, and not so obvious, but it's still there. Would do so. Just make this okay. I think the summary is make the increase the blur, reduce the opacity. It will work. And maybe the y axis take the shadow up, so it's not so focused on the bottom here. Like most of them, it's focused on the bottom. So if you take the shadow up and it's more centralized, you reduce the opacity, you reduce the blur, you increase. Do you need to increase the blur? You can leave the blur, but just reduce the opacity. Very important. So take the shadow up a little. Make it feel like the sun is in between. The sun. Let's say this is your face. This is your face. The sun is hitting from the center. But how would the shadow around it look like? So in this case, it feels like the sun is above, so the shadow is down here. Let me not explain that too much. So yeah, nice, cool, maybe little spacing adjustment, but cool. Okay. You can reduce the space here. It's too much. Proximity. Let all family members stick to each other. Okay. This is very beautiful actually. This is very nice. So this is actually very this down. Your other sum is very nice. Yeah, very good. Nice, great. So last one for the night sound will be off. Whose design is this? Whose design is this? I can't remember on the spot. Whose design is are you on the call? So Bayo, I hope you took note of everything. So just implement. So whose design is this? Sorry. I know the other designs, but we might not have to take them. So whose design is this? Can't remember. Are you on the call? No. This is not the call. I want someone who's on the call. No. Can't remember who's on the call. Okay. So let's just look at this. Okay, this person might not be on the call. Prince. Okay, let me see if I can just do Prince on very fast. This Prince is on the call. I should have opened the. Let me see if I can just create. Just for explanatory sake, come in Prince out, copy yours. Master Prince. So far, I hope we have learned something today. Yeah, thanks for today. So we'll do more. We'll fire on. Okay, this is it. Let's copy. Yeah. Okay. So I don't have a Figma file open, so we'll use this as it is. So this is Prince work. Yeah, someone in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, just tell us what you observe, what you think can change, what you think can do better. Observations. Nobody. That Prince Damage design is very nice, so nobody wants to criticize it. All right, so your sign-in page is very cool. Let me see. Should I play this prototype? Better. Let's take my time. So just let me see if it will load on time. Yeah. So your sign-in page is very cool. I can't zoom in, but the sign-in page is very cool. Like kudos. Like I was saying, a gray outline usually works better than a shadow, but it's all about preference. So this is very neat. How I love this design. Very neat. You forgot to change this to your buttons to login, but it's still very fine. cool. Can I still reduce the space here a little, but it's still cool anyway. Anything search, that was first I noticed too. Anything search. Like what mean of anything search? Just leave it as search now. Why? Or just say search for anything. Or just you can leave it as search. Yeah. Fast food, burger, pizza. Is it just me? I know this was the design, but is it just me? Or if instead of gray, what if we use a very light version of the pitch? I think it will work better here actually. Instead of using gray, but it works. Everything's about preference. I think if I was one designing, I would have used a light pitch background here instead of gray. But most in the design it was gray, so that's why I didn't know how to fight anybody. But personally, a light pitch would work better there. Still preference. All right. So I think the only thing I noticed about this was, although like, again, it's not anybody's fault. It's from the design. This should actually be down here, not on the right side. So probably when we talk about UX, we'll talk about things like this, like best practices or best practices basically. So this should actually be here, not here. But for design sake, it passes. Then one thing to observe is the space between these two cards wide. I mean, it feels like Titanic can pass through, but just reduce the space a little. Yeah, make it more. Just reduce the space between them. Yeah, yeah. Then this is UX, not UI. So if you notice most of the other designs, let me just go take it to this one. No, not this one. Yeah, this is the best. When it comes to that indicating scrollability like an action, this indicates that I can scroll horizontally. Yeah, compared to this guy, this is the original design. They don't indicate that you can scroll. Yeah, most times I don't think anybody just have two favorites, or even though there's a chance that this is going to be more than just two. So there should be a way to show that it can scroll. So that's what Bayo, right? Yeah, that's what he did here. That makes a lot of sense. So you can it's cut it into two, so you know that you can swipe right to see more. So that's something I feel we can also implement in our designs. This is this is not. Yeah, so reduce the space here if you can. Make a third one that can show that can indicate that you can scroll that section. Okay, this looks good. Maybe also reduce the space between this hot pizza and sandwich, and I think we'll be fine there. Just reduce the space between these two. I'll be fine there. Yeah, this one. Are you owing somebody? Why you can just add space? Just add space here, so it doesn't feel like you are something smelling there. That's why you moved it there. So just bring it back to the left, so there's less. Just reduce the space there and bring them closer to the edges rather than pushing them backwards. Yeah, same thing for this one. Move them to the left. Our cool. This is perfect actually. Other lists. I don't know if this is a square, but anyway, it does not matter. So this is perfect as it is. Maybe for you, okay, for UI, this is good. For UX, this is too close. UX mean if I want to click the negative, what are the chances that I will not also click the positive? So if we add a little more space between the positive, the number, and the negative, the minus, add a little more space, it improves the UX. UI looks fine. There's no issue with UI, but UX increase the spacing so that nobody accidentally clicks on anything. Yeah, and this is very beautiful. Love it. Yeah, I like the attention. 55 plus 35,000 is 90,000, right? Yeah, so I like that simple attention to detail that you did. So it was not just random. So looks cool, looks good. Nice work, friends. So the time is almost 8, if not 8. It's just 2 more minutes. I don't think you can take another person's design. So probably next week would take another person's design or another set of designs. I think I'll give a task this week also. Okay, one more thing about this Prince design that I need to point out is it's not a bad thing though. but it feels like the margin is wide. Yeah, it feels like the wide margin like this is smaller, I guess, than this. So the margin here is a lot. So I just felt to point that out. Then this I feel it's a little bit big. I know you meant to see all, but this is a little bit big. Can reduce it a little, the font size, and maybe use this peach color instead of gray, or you can leave it anyway. It's cool. So the margin feels a little, to me, it feels a little wide. I think this margin should not be so wide. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. Everybody here works. Yeah. So next week I'll drop another task on the group again that we can design, maybe a little bit more complex, so that next week, yeah, Prince, you can speak, can talk.
Okay, yeah, so I want to ask, like, when you drop a design, are we to also try and make it better or just recreate exactly what's there? Because that's what I tried doing, just recreating what's there. I didn't try
Okay.
anything.
The purpose of the task was not to. The purpose was just to test our abilities and just see where we are. So we're free to play around. Even someone sent a design that was not even the design. So you are free to play around. You are free to enjoy yourself. Basically, it does not have to be the same. But the idea is that make sure it works, make sure it looks good, or it's good. Yeah. So there's no rule that says it must be exact same thing. So just do something that works. Yeah. Do something that you feel. That's why I was appreciating the guy. Was it by no, I can't remember whose one was in the center. Yeah, so he noticed it and he fixed it. So the same way you can see, most times I'll send the designers. I might actually even see the faults in the design, but I want you to be able to look at design and tell that okay, this should not be how it should look, and with your own intuition, with your own intuition, yeah, say that okay, let me move this, let me change this, let me make this look better. This is not the best way to represent this. So we're all free to do whatever we want with our designs, but I think the idea is just the basic idea of the like this is a food delivery app. Yeah, this is a food delivery app. So the task something like that. So when you're designing your own, log in, welcome, order, but you personal to you and your intuition, what you feel works in this case. So 9:01. I've spent a lot of time. I apologize for taking this long. Should have finished like 30 minutes ago. Hopefully next week I'll try my best to not let it take this long so we can sleep. So see you guys next week. I'll send the task to the group and have fun. See, that's the word. Just have fun. Have fun with the task I'll be sending. So everyone, good night. Take care of yourself. Design. It's also very important. Yeah. Thank you, Prince. Good night, everyone.